Hey guys, it's Honey, the game you've ever heard about or watched before. Today I thought we'd start a new series. This is heavily inspired by Phoenix SC in that I'm going to be talking about the updates that are being made in the snapshot. But it's going to be different because I'm going to be going a lot more in depth on the technical side of those snapshots. This video is about 23W06A. There is some stuff about previous snapshots, but that's in here because this is the first episode and I wanted to cover some content from the previous snapshots. The first thing we're going to be talking about is Do Vines Spread, a new game rule that they added, which is going to be so useful for people in the mapping community, as it allows them to prevent the spread of vines. So good job, Mojang. Probably should have been implemented a little sooner. Now, new commands are always exciting, but this one is actually quite exciting. This will make map creation so much easier in terms of doing damage to players. It also allows you to type in exact numbers for how much damage you want to do to the player. So all around, really handy. This currently does not work, and this is because the /damage command can only execute on one entity. So if we limit this to one entity, you will see that this sheep has been damaged. However, if we want to damage multiple entities at the same time, what we can do is execute as @e type equals sheep, and then we're going to run the command damage. We're going to damage @s because we're running as the sheep, and we'll do 1 damage. And that looks like that. So now we're damaging multiple entities with the one command. Going further into damage, the player can be damaged as well, as you can see there. And then the player can of course be killed with that damage. Now, one of the cool things about damage is that you're able to customize what the damage type is. So here I have drowning damage. So you can see in the chat there, Honeyhive drowned. Then we have arrow damage. And the third one that I want to talk about is dry out, which displays the message, Honeyhive died from dehydration. I am hoping that they don't add thirst as a mechanic to the game. The final thing I want to talk about with the /damage command is the maximum damage value. Let me just really quickly give you an idea of how high this number is. And then we've got an invalid value. And that is a working command. Applied 1.0 E38 damage to Honeyhive. That is something I have not seen in Minecraft until now. I have written here the maximum damage value that you can apply. That is up the top. Below that number is the 128-bit integer limit. The maximum damage value you can apply is just below the 128-bit integer limit, but you know, it's really close. And this is by far the largest number I have seen in Minecraft at all. It's ridiculous. The next thing that we'll be talking about is execute on. Now, this execute on command allows you to execute on the attacker. The attacker is the entity that last hit the executing entity in the last 5 seconds. The controller, the passenger that has control of it, so the controller of the boat, being the first person who sat in the boat. The leasher, if you leash an animal, you would be the leasher. The origin, which I don't know what is. The owner would be the owner of a dog. The passengers would be the passengers of that mob, so both the players in a boat, if 2 players are in the boat. The target, which is the entity or player that executing entity is targeting, and the vehicle, the entity that the executing entity is riding as a passenger. Something fun you can do with this. Don't ride this pig. Now, why wouldn't I ride this pig? Well, execute as @e type equals pig, so we're executing as that pig. On passengers, run kill @s. And so what this will do is it will execute as any entity riding the pig, which means that if I were to sit on this pig, I would die. The next thing I want to talk about is execute on attacker. And something you can do with this is execute as Honeyhive on attacker, run kill @s. This is effectively infinite thorns. Any entity that damages me will immediately die. So, if I summon a zombie and the zombie comes and attacks me, the zombie will immediately die upon attacking me. I have yet to figure out how we can execute on an entity and then go back to the original entity. But if I were to figure that out, that would be absolutely amazing, and I would love that. And finally, execute summon. What execute summon allows us to do is simplify commands down. Instead of executing at a player, summoning a cow, and then in a completely different command doing a ride command, you can have it all in the one command. Execute at honeyxmate, that will execute at my position. Summon cow, which will then summon a cow. It will then run the command ride honeyxmate mount at e type equals cow limit equals 1. And what that's going to do is it's going to take me and it's going to mount me on the cow. And so when we run this command, I will immediately mount the cow with a single command block. Now, another thing that the execute summon allows you to do is summon multiple entities with the one command block. And if you take that to an extreme, you can summon a lot of entities with one command block. And boom. Oh god. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want to see more videos like this, please feel free to leave a like. Now, I'm also going to ad-lib for the next 2 minutes as I try and get my video over 8 minutes, just because I have a theory that if I go over 8 minutes, YouTube can put mid-rolls on my video and then maybe they'll recommend it to more people. I don't know, this will be a one-time test. If this video does incredibly well for no reason, then looks like we're going to be aiming for 8-minute videos from here on out. I'll just tell like a few short little stories. Okay, story number 1. I was doing algebra, right, in school, and it's all fun. It's all fun and games. And then I sit down in a math class and I turn the page to the next chapter, Algebra 2. They made a sequel. How dare they? And another story. When I was a kid, I always assumed that you could print a video on paper, and that I was so dumb as a kid. I also didn't realize that Davy Jones was CGI until the 17th of the 7th, 2022. Oh my god, okay. So my friends had an after-school party because, you know, they'd finished year 11 and were on to year 12. And they had a party at someone's house, and I knew nothing about the party. But the one quote that I overheard about the party was this. And nobody knew the recovery position. And now I'm really concerned as to what happened at that party. But, you know. Alright, again, thank you so much for watching. But, you know, have an excellent day. I wish only the best for you. Thank you so much.